network system.
Egyptian, hey guys, can I say something? I just have a question. Isn't there a difference, Mr. Egyptian? Isn't there a difference between the country of Egypt's ability and willingness to communicate with Israel compared to Hamas's unwillingness and inability to communicate? So when Daniel says the border will be established and maintained with communication, I think that point should not be overlooked. Daniel is emphasizing that Egypt is able to communicate with Israel in a way that Hamas is unwilling and unable to communicate. So don't you think that is a significant difference between Egypt and Hamas?
Wait, I'm sorry, but who is playing the middle role here between Israel and Hamas in order to finish this situation as much as possible?
Egypt.
Exactly. So there's communication.
That's good, but that's what I'm saying. Egypt is a more mature individual than Hamas. I would trust Egypt more than Hamas, personally.
Okay, that's good.
Egyptian, when you can look for this term on Google, Hala, tourism company, Gaza. I can just give you the first one is from Sky News, The Price of Freedom, the company making millions from Gaza misery. The second one is from NPR, Palestinians fleeing Gaza for Egypt pays out to Egyptian broker. The third one is from New York Times, when the only escape from war in Gaza is to buy a way out. Another one from New York Times, who is Egyptian tycoon accused of charging Palestinians to escape? The BBC, Gaza ground founded. Like, you will see, like, I'm not talking about a website. It's about a very known thing that already had a lot of, you can see also the name, the company, the evidence, like the testimonies, the receipt, like you see I can tell you his name. It's called maybe Ibrahim Al-Organi, you know him?
Okay, Daniel, when I mentioned about the website, I just mentioned as an example, as a reference after all.
I'm not talking about an example, I'm talking about the problems that you're ignoring, about the fact that Egypt is making billions from this situation, and this is the interest. It's not about security, it's about money.
You know,
What's not true? What is not true?
That you really believe in the official side, which is in Sisi. I'm sorry, let me please, Rafi, I'm sorry. I cannot really imagine that.
You were talking so long. Let me just say, let me tell you something. Let me finish.
Kishman, please.
Sorry.
No trouble.
Yes, please.
I do agree with Egyptian that it has nothing to do with money. Now, I will tentatively agree with Egyptian.
Would you give up $1 million a day?
No. Wait 1 second. What I'm saying is that the people that are profiting from that is not the government of Egypt. The people that are profiting from all of those legal, passports and stuff like that are like private businessmen.
Directly connected to Sisi, the government of Egypt.
What does it mean to connect? Tell me. What does it mean to be connected with Al-Sisi? Does that mean that they give them money? Do you think that means that they will earn some money from that? Or if so, how much?
How much?
Billions? I think this is like insane to think that it is billions.
Okay, so do the math. There were like 80,000 that were reported that has left. The duplicate is like, let's say, by 5,000. I get to 400 million. That's $500 million.
It's really more as Egyptian fools.
Okay, sorry. I thought there was billions.
No, so $500 million.
Even millions, even thousands. Daniel, let's imagine that I work there, and I work in the passport of department, and I come to Palestinians. Hey, if you want to cross the borders, give me $5,000 for each member, and they will pay, and they will pass. They will think that they passed because they paid money, but actually they passed because they are legally able to pass. So many people really mix between all the things. That's why I'm trying to tell you, private business, just like Rodi said, and it cannot really be cooperated and connected to the Sisi. That's bullshit.
No, even if it is connected, first of all, what does it mean to be connected? Secondly, how much of the money goes to the government? I think the security concerns are far more important, even if they get money from that, which I don't know,
the connection. I'll tell you how much it is. When it takes $6,000 to cross a land border, then you have like $6,000 that you just made for no expenses. But I will tell you, hold on, I will find the connection to Assisi. I just don't remember.
Is it normal for countries all around the world to charge money to cross their border?
It's, I don't know, it's not for crossing the border, it's for legal fees.
Legal fees for what? People that already have passports, for example, why do they need to have $5,000 to leave Gaza?
Actually, I really want to know what is the in which they are getting the Egyptian citizenship, to be honest.
No, not the citizenship. This is the company that is doing it. I will look for it. It's called Hala Tourism. Okay, and it's Egyptian travel company, and I will look for it. And that hold on.
Yeah, no problem.
I agree with Daniel. It seems like a grift, but maybe I'm uneducated.
What has a tourist group or a tourist company has to do with borders, Daniel?
Exactly, Egyptian.
Exactly.
Egyptian. The thing is that if you concede that the Egyptian government has elements of corruption, then only if you consider, you don't have to, right? You can say that the government is not corrupt. But if it is, often what happens if you run a business and you need the government approval to run it, you pay the government so they will allow you to do things that they would not let you do otherwise. So if you have a corrupt politician, he can profit. This is how it works. Do you really think Russia? Do you really think that Egypt is stupid in order to switch or prefer money rather than its security and let many people come and could be related to terrorist organizations or terrorist groups? I don't think so.
It's not for terrorist organizations, it's for civilians, to be honest. But,
look, the way that this is usually works, and again, if you're curious how corrupt governments work and what they will do and will not do, look at Russia and how it operates. They had a lot of shit stolen, corrupted, so very much hurt their national security. Okay, let me. After you finish, let me say something. No, again, if you think that the government is not corrupt and people who are in charge of the whatever, some office, some border positions, whatever, if they're not corrupt, so my argument is not has no value. I'm just saying, like, if it is, this is how the money is made, and it often is, like I'm saying, like for example in Russia, and then you correct. It hurts the national security of the country because right now they thought they will be going to a war with an army, with a force, with like weapons, communication, with whatever. They thought that they will take Kiev in 3 days, whatever. But now they are like 3 years into a war that they have to take. Okay, let me. All because of corruption. That's it.
And by the way, I found out who the owner of this company is. It's called Ibrahim.
Okay, this is morning meditation. Hello.
Want to put this topic up?
Farida, are you Egyptian?
No, I'm not.
Are you Palestinian?
No, I'm not Palestinian either.
What are you then? Just British?
Yeah, I'm from the UK.
But you're like Arab, right?
I wouldn't say. Well, I'm part of Arab India. If that makes me an Arab.
Why can't I get a straight answer out of you anymore?
To be honest, I don't really like telling people my business on this app. They always like come somewhere and throw it back in my face, like in front of people and stuff. It's like someone asks you this, and then next time you see them somewhere, like they're telling everyone your business, what you said to them.
What time is it
It's
over there?
not personal, though. You know.
What time is it over there?
I don't have anything against you. It's not personal.
What time is it over there?
I'm not in the UK at the moment. I'm in UAE and it's 3:22 p.m.
Oh, that's not that bad.
So, are you in America?
Yeah, Chicago.
Okay, I'm curious why this Israeli morons and Egyptian fools.
Yeah, because I was just listening to some Israelis and some Egyptians, and they repeat themselves over and over again. They're retarded.
So, what's the Egyptian opinion on this conflict?
It's obviously pro-Palestinian.
Do you know what I don't understand is how Arab League countries accepted Israel at the beginning, literally. So it's like if you was backstabbing someone, literally like and then you look like you care about them, it doesn't really make sense. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if Egypt really cared about Palestinians, why do they have these wars? You know, sometimes I see videos like even kids like taking the soldiers like across the wall. If they can have some food.
Yeah.
And then they're saying like they're building some tents or something for Palestinians. I don't even know. This conflict is like a nightmare. That's what it is. It's just like for me, I think I've seen the worst in this world because of this conflict. I've just seen a new, like, do you know when America, like, they took over the land from the native Indians, and I'm literally thinking, is this what happened? You know, before I never really even paid attention. I know this conflict has been going on for a really long time. Like when Israel started like bombing Gaza, like obviously Hamas, whatever they did, like killing in any any shape or form is not okay. I'm sure, like, obviously Israel has been killing Palestinians for a very long time. So I kind of understand why Hamas did what they did, but still, like, I don't support the killing of any human. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think, like, maybe they were at their last straw sort of thing, because
No way. That was they took hostages. No, they took hostages. Their strategy was to win by blackmailing the Israeli government.
But I did see on Al Jazeera, like, they had video clips. That's why Al Jazeera was banned from Israel. Like, Israeli soldiers was actually even killing their own hostages.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah, you should see it on YouTube.
Listen,
documentary.
no
And
soldier.
they were just like bombing them from the air. They didn't even care. Like, is this our hostages?
Well, I mean, I would watch the video because it's propaganda. But if they did kill their own people, then it was an accident.
It's not propaganda because
It is propaganda. Don't you know what propaganda? Okay, tell me what your definition of propaganda.
Propaganda is like.
Just do it quickly. Just say fake news. Just say fake news. Just say fake news, okay? And then we can move on. Ready? Say fake news.
Bogus.
Bogus. Where did you learn these words? Bogus. What are you from? Like, Beverly Hills or something?
I speak good English, that's it. But yeah, bogus, false, fraudulent, yeah.
Fake. Wow. You're never gonna get married. Farida, do you think you're gonna get married? I don't think you'll ever get married. I don't think you're capable of having conversations. Taka Arabi?
I'm just going to leave. Obviously we're not seeing eye to eye. No offense. Take care.
Farewell, Farida. Just got 2 accounts.
Full stop. They're all racist. I do not care about their sovereignty. I do not care about them being independent states. I want to give Ukrainians weapons so they can kill Russians. I don't give a fuck if they win. All right, like I'm not into this whole rah. They are a liberal democracy. I don't give a fuck what their government is. Care about these countries. I'm never going to Eastern Europe. I don't give a shit about them. I care that the Russians gave money to right wingers in the United States, far right wingers in that, and that makes me want to kill them. If they hadn't done that, I wouldn't want to be involved at all.
You in the military?
Since they're threatening my rights.
You're in the military?
No, I'm not in the military, but
okay, because I'm the one who's going to Eastern Europe. But I'm trying to figure out why are you talking just like
you should go on mute though. You should go on mute though, because this you're not going in Eastern Europe right now. This is no war, right? And last I checked, wait. Last I checked, you don't get a veto right over what you're saying. So fuck all that noise.
But he's right.
But we are. Wait.
It doesn't matter. A sovereign country has the right to make their own security arrangements.
You chose to be in the military. Don't come up in my face. Don't come up in my face and act like you're gonna tell me what I can and can't say because you made a choice to go. That was your fucking choice. Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
What you're saying is like I don't care if I have to go. No. Stop. He's saying no. He's saying like if I have to go, like don't put that shit like you're that nigga that's doing it. No, because like no. He's saying.
You're getting in your feelings, bro.
No, I'm just gonna be honest. Like a lot of you niggas be talking like y'all. You're not, but he's not though. You can be.
But I'm telling you, either you can go on mute or I'll put you in the group.
But he's not nigga. That's wrong.
I'm telling you.
Would you want to you outrank each other?
You
outrank each other?
decided to have some type of security arrangement.
Shut your bitch ass
It
up,
was
man.
a defensive alliance. It wasn't to threaten Europe, or not Europe, but Russia.
See,
still, he niggas talking about like if I have to go. And it's like, bro, like, listen, no, I'm just tired of civilian ass niggas talking about.
You came in on the back end of a conversation. He's talking about fucking NATO being a fucking defensive alliance. That's it. A sovereign country has the right to have their own security arrangements. Because it's a defensive alliance doesn't mean that they're aimed at threatening Russia. It's just ensuring the security and stability of Europe. That's it.
Russia has, I mean,
the U.S. went into Ukraine. Hillary Clinton went into Ukraine, right? Perpetrated a coup d'etat. Hold on a second. We need to understand the series of events that happened in the Ukraine. Ukraine and Russia, yes, they had their little skirmishes, but they didn't have any beef seriously that could have ended in this kind of war that we are seeing today. Hillary Clinton went into the Ukraine, deposed the democratically elected president of the Ukraine.
Russian puppet.
Replaced it with neo-Nazi. Hold on a second. Replaced it with neo-Nazi that the Russians fought and that Americans fought in 1945, right? There's a fervent neo-Nazi movement. There's a fervent neo-Nazi movement in Ukraine. Now, if you don't know that, if you do not know that, then you need to go to some homework.
That would be even more reason for us to give Ukraine weapons.
Ukrainian are the neo-Nazi, bro.
Wait a minute, Matt.
You want to give them weapons?
Yes, Matt, because if Ukraine is full of neo-Nazis, then we could have like what was the battle between Germany and the Soviet Union where America Stalin, we could just have that, right? They could just kill each other off.
Yeah, Tucker's not a serious person. He doesn't really want to have this conversation. Yeah, Tucker doesn't want to have a serious conversation.
No, I'm being dead serious. If Ukraine is full of Nazis, having Nazis go and kill themselves is good, right? That's not a reason to not give weapons because, like, a place is. I mean, you give weapons to like shitty people all the time. Like, if they're gonna like go and die, then that'd be good, right? That wouldn't be bad for the U.S. interests or for Western Europe's interests either. They would expend all of their abilities in that war fighting people we don't like anyway. So, like, what would be the problem?
Listen, I don't go to the fucking conversation.
Russia has the right to invade Ukraine if they want to, but they got to be able to keep that territory. And I mean, that's the rules, right? You don't get killed for trying to take it. So let's see what you got, right? We're going to give the weapons, and you're going to die and die and die, and we'll see how many people you're willing to risk and lose and maim and kill in your own country in order to keep it. That will be what will determine.
And you really do not know Russian people in Russian history. That's the problem. You guys don't know history.
I'm Ukrainian. I know my own history. And you've got our history skewed. The reason why we have neo-Nazis is because during the Soviet Union, when Russia sided with Germany, the whole Soviet Union sided with Germany initially before they turned their backs on it. The full Eastern Europe is filled with neo-Nazis. Russia has neo-Nazis, Ukraine has neo-Nazis, Poland has neo-Nazis, Estonia has neo-Nazis. Literally all of Eastern Europe has neo-Nazis because they were on the same side as the Nazis for a good portion of the war till the end of the war where they betrayed the Nazis in their eyes.
So
please go learn the history before you go on a random tangent and understand our history. The reason why we have Nazis is because of Russia.
You still have Nazis, and you actually think Nazis is a good thing. Like, you still have Nazis.
Nobody said it's
the whole Azov battalion. The whole Azov battalion is not full of neo-Nazis that the United States is supplying arms to against its own laws. Against its own laws. But then again, we have a thirst for war. And that is what's going to destroy this country. We could do so much more in the advancement of technology, but instead we decide that military conquest and useless war is the hill we're going to die on.
It's not a useless war. Obviously, Russia has threats of potential of World War III. They've already made that clear by threatening NATO countries like Estonia. That's right.
Yeah. So Wesley, I just wanted to record Thugger Biden to try to dox him, because he's a fucking psychopathic, disgusting little faggot piece of shit. So, my YouTube title is Thugger Biden, Clubhouse, Pfizer executive, wants Ukrainian neo-Nazis to kill everyone. Oh man. I don't understand what goes through people's minds when they say, fuck them all, let's sell them all weapons so they can go kill all those Russians and get themselves killed in the process. I mean, that's psychotic. You know, that's literally psychotic.
Probably making a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, but to what price? To the destruction of the fucking who cares if we make money? Like if the world gets destroyed because the Russians are so sick of us and they detonate a nuclear weapon in Manhattan, I mean, what Wall Street? What retirement package? It's all gone. They could do that with a fucking torpedo. I mean, they could light up the whole East Coast and West Coast simultaneously. There will be no more imports for the next 3 years because all of our ports are now thermonuclear reactive waste sites. Oh, you didn't get your TikTok watch in time? Well, sorry, it's not coming in from Taipei.
Don't give them any ideas, bro.
No, that's what's always in the news, is that they're going to launch a torpedo nuke. What are you doing today?
Just waking up. Got lunch. Got a little running around to do. I think I'm gonna go buy an Xbox. There's a new game that comes out tomorrow. Star Wars Outlaws that I want to play.
Fuck it, dude. I unplugged my PS3 and I'm so glad I did. Like once it's out of sight, out of mind, holy fuck. It's like, damn, you don't realize how powerful of a drug it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was like, man, this shouldn't keep on. But
just get yourself another phone and start filming all these losers on this app, because they won't even let me talk. So it's like, if they won't let me talk, well, then I'm just gonna film you and put you on YouTube because you're a fucking moron. You got no choice.
Yeah, I saw you in the room the other day. You were talking or texting in the back chat. I assumed you were just recording.
I'm always recording. There's like no reason for me to be here unless I'm recording. I can't believe people come here and just keep propping up themselves and get no return, no equity, no investment. It's like coming to a facility to say, "Hey, I'm ready to have my blood sucked." And then you sit down. Yeah, I also call this a road rage app now, meaning that like every room you go into is like getting into a car to go to a destination. And everybody never gets to the destination, and all they do is road rage the whole time to get there.
That's right. They like it. It's the dopamine. Some people, I think, enjoy being mad. There's something up in their brains. They like to make themselves upset.
Well, censorship is so intense now. Like Meta has like officially automated censorship. So every time I live stream Clubhouse now on Instagram, Meta, they shut it down and turn it off because whatever the algorithm thinks that whatever people are saying is racist, hate speech, incitement to violence, and then there's a couple other weird explanations they give. And so yeah, it's 1984 George Orwell, and you can't say that Hillary Clinton is a domestic terrorist and an international terrorist. You can't say anything. You can't talk about anything.
It seems to me that they're not going to like censor the conservatives again, like they admitted was happening. I think what they're going to do is, moving forward, censor everything and anything and everyone.
No,
can't talk about what the news is anymore.
Yeah, well, it's fucked up. I mean, if citizens can't communicate with citizens and only mega corporations can communicate with us. I don't know. The thing is, you have to like just keep jiving or stick and move. You know, like this is like a guerrilla communication war.
Oh, yeah.
So
cool.
yeah, if they knock you down on one, you just go to the next. They knock that down, you go to the, like, you can just keep going but it's a question of how crazy will you get during the process, and then can you be patient enough and sophisticated enough to make it a success. You know, Zuckerberg never has to do another thing the rest of his life. He doesn't have to look at emails. He doesn't have to hold a cell phone. He needs to do nothing. And that's what a lot of these people need to learn, is to do nothing. You know, I mean, I'm trying to do nothing. I'm still alive, getting paid for it. But when I say nothing, I mean everything. That's the difference. Is like stay alive. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, wars are won by staying alive and winning to fight another day. And I'm not going to go die in a ravine or some fucking aqueduct in Afghanistan with some stupid puta who wants to get a silver star or a bronze medal after I died, trying to take some stupid position for her.
Get up there, soldier. I gave you an order, soldier. Get up on that position now.
But man, they're shooting on the position with RPGs and machine guns.
I told you to get up there now, soldier. I'll shoot you myself.
Oh shit, yes ma'am. She means business.
I'd have an us once we started getting shot at. Heavy fire. I was like, all right, let's go. We're gonna run through that doorway and we're gonna go kill these guys. And before the point I go, some master gunner started and grabbed him. Stop. And we looked at him, he's like, wait till they run out of ammunition and then go. And we waited a few seconds and they ran out of ammo and then we went, no shit. Why didn't I think of that?
Dopamine feedback loop. Yeah, that's the one thing I've really learned from this app is to go through life without road rage. Oh, sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. You're fired. Oh, we're suing you. Oh, we're raiding your house. Oh, you're going to jail. Oh, everything else horrible in your life. It's like, oh, okay. What was that? Did you think I was going to get angry about this? Like, no matter where I end up, if you understand the principle essentially of non-anger, you're like the king. Like, no one can rock your boat, and people want to come to your ship because your boat is unsinkable. So that's the thing, is no matter where you end up, whether it's prison or the executive office, if you got a positive attitude, you're the guy. You know, people want to be with you. People want you to lead them. People want you to save them with your positivity, with your happiness, with your joy in the face of adverse circumstances, of disaster. You know, when the Australians landed in, I think it's Gallipoli, is it? And the Turks killed like 30,000 of them on those cliffs or whatever. Disaster beyond imagination. How do you stay positive in the face of a horrific tragedy? There's a secret. The Palestinians don't know it. They fucked up. I mean, they thought that hostages was going to give them the leverage that they needed to successfully negotiate some type of surrender on the other side. Little did they know that the Israelis were like, okay, well, we're just going to come in with the tanks anyways. And if some of the hostages die, well, that they die. The Israelis were just like, this is it. This is it. This is the end all wars. And now the Gaza Strip is just, rubble. Like the whole thing. I mean, you know how many fucking years people spent building up their lives and society over there to have it taken away in like a couple of weeks and literally leveled? But that's the military.
You hear that song? It's like all we are is dust and that's their city.
I mean, this is like historical malfeasance and historical negligence. I mean, you can just read Caesar's war commentaries to know that these people did not have a firm grasp of history to know what could happen in the event of opposite and equal reaction. It's like they didn't know physics or something. It's not just them, it's the Ukrainians and the Russians as well. They keep telling us all the good news. Oh, the Ukrainians are making incursions and causing chaos for the Russians. Oh, great. Fantastic news. Wow. Gets me so excited. But it gets Hunter Biden excited. Not Hunter, I mean Thugger.
You think that BRICS is a big deal?
Yeah, it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's big deal in the sense that the devaluation of your dollar will increase even faster with BRICS. And it's already incredibly devalued. I've been buying rare national currency and gold coins, bullion from the 1910s and 20s. And it's so interesting what the currency looks like before the institution or the passage of the amendment for the Federal Reserve. What is it, the 1913 Federal Reserve Act or something? If you look at the currency before and the currency after, you can see how the Federal Reserve essentially became the monopoly of currency creation on behalf of all banks. So prior, banks would issue their own currency and they would sign it, like literally every single note, the bank manager would actually sign it. And so you would have an instrument from your local bank, but after the Federal Reserve, it just became standardized, but under the control of a central authority. So it's really a question of state rights versus federal rights, that the US government federally mandates financial policy from DC when states were originally in control of their financial destinies. They weren't tied to the national ledger. And that's the big difference. So if you buy antiques from history, you can actually understand what they were thinking then in terms of domestic and foreign policy and financial strategy and economic policy. And, this country has essentially become not the land of the free, but the land of the slaves.
Well, you said it all happy because it hurt his back.
Well, the slaves will serve. Most people on this app are slaves. I'm trying to break free, but I'm still, got one leg trapped in a fox's, trap. I mean, I'm still stuck, but it's very difficult to create a business. Then you create a business, then the Federal Reserve, and then the IRS comes by and says, "Hey, we want our cut." And you're like, "What cut?" They're like, "The cut we put the investment in. We want our money back plus our return on investment." But then you're like, "But you didn't put any money in. How do you want a return on investment on something you're not even a part of?" And they say, "If you don't give us what we want, we'll raid your house, take your assets, and seize your bank accounts." And then you're like, "Oh, all right, here, take this and go away." I mean, I just went to the gym last night. I got a $60 ticket for taking a left at an orange light that turned red. So they got me for a red light camera ticket. I'm just like, fuck. There goes another $100. It's like this every day. It's like you can't even drive around your city anymore without getting a ticket. And it's like you got to drive like a baby. 27 miles everywhere you go. Brake gently, accelerate gently. There is no, I don't know why people spend all this money. I don't know why people spend all this money on these nice, expensive, fast cars, because like now you're paying thousands of dollars a year just to drive your fucking awesome car like a fucking like normal. Anyways, it can ruin your day. It can make you fucking pissed. You're like, fuck, like I'm going bankrupt, I'm going broke, and everywhere I go, like it's automated. I can't even I'm not even doing anything, and now I'm paying money. I'm glad I'm 41 and not like 21, but maybe it would be better to be 21. Who knows?
Those kids are beta.
Not everyone. Some kids have good fathers, and their fathers are not beta, and the sons are not beta.
Well, yeah, it's something in the water. I think they're weakening our men. But maybe you're right. Maybe that's just the ones I've seen. They all have what's that? They say vaccine autism. They all have autism, and they're all wearing tight pants, and they couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag.
This is what Speaker Johnson wrote on Twitter. Donald Trump continues to be the most persecuted politician in the history of the U.S. Today, after getting 2 of his cases thrown out by the courts, Jack Smith is grasping at straws. 70 days before the election, then General Mike Flynn writes, do not pass the continuing resolution at the end of the month of September and shut the government down. Send the right signal that the GOP means business and get back to work now. Fucking A. This is the difference between a general and a politician. The politician knows that absolutely no way will he turn the spigot off and stop cutting checks. The general says, stop spreading the fake money, stop cutting the checks, and get back to work. Like, I got to text I work for the government, and so like in an hour, I got to text my boss, tell her that I'm sick again. And, but see, I have my government laptop still. I still have my government ID card. And like, you know, I could whistleblow. I could claim that I'm being asked to waste millions of dollars for absolutely nothing, you know, and use that to run for Congress. But this is why my employer hasn't even fired me, because they know that I got a big mouth, and they also know that I'm recording everything. So this is why I haven't been terminated, because they're like, fuck, if we terminate him, that gives him more grounds to shit on us. But if we don't terminate him and he comes back in and we seize the laptop, then he'll have no evidence whatsoever, and he can go fuck himself and he can claim whatever he wants. But since I still have the laptop and I have years and years worth of work on it, they're not terminating me, and they just keep saying, come into the office, you're violating section code, etc.
What's that guy's name that works for Hillary?
Seth Rich, yeah.
Seth Rich.
I don't have anything like that. I have nothing important. I just have basically I just have construction bullshit, like, you know, opening offices for the government, but like they're not offices to help people, they're offices to steal from people.
That's right.
It's all a scam. And if like one time I went into the office, I was like, everything is fucked. I was like, look, we could look out the window right now and there's people getting robbed. And he's like, well, it's better to be on this side of the fence. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, that's true. Yeah. He's drinking his coffee, watching people get robbed. He's like, wow, that sucks. And then I realized I didn't like what he said, but I was like, well, he's right in the sense that like I'm happy, I'm healthy, I have security. But I was like, but that's not true. I was like, it's better to be on the fence post, to just like be sitting on the fence post, looking at both directions, looking at both sides of the fence, and knowing that both of them are technically wrong. I don't know if you're doing meditation or yoga, but like yoga is meditation, and like yoga is just stretching and deep breathing. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. And you can use like a belt or a strap or a rope, but pull on your hamstrings and do deep breathing. Man, I mean, I've been a back sufferer for many years, back pain sufferer, but like I've been doing a lot of yoga for many years now, and it's like, man, I can't live without this, because like the pain in my back, the pain in my hamstrings, my neck, my shoulders, it's like, if you don't stretch, like, then you live in pain, and then all this political stuff is irrelevant, because you're like, oh fuck, man, I'm dying here. Like my body is killing me. This sucks. So yoga to me is like how to live pain free.
You have to get caught. Stretching is important.
Yeah. people discount stretching, but stretching is working out. And my big thing is, go to the gym and vote Trump fatty.
All right, I got to do about these skid lunches and stuff.
Okay, peace.
I used to ride trucks with my dad, and we went deer hunting. And I want to do that again, but I don't know this man no more. I don't even know if he's still alive.
You went bear hunting?
But I would like to come to Pennsylvania and shit like that in the woods.
I mean, you don't hunt bears. You just set up bear traps, and then when their foot gets caught, you take your double-barrel shotgun and blow their fucking brains out.
I didn't say bears. I said deer. You Obama phone having that cracker bitch. I said deer.
Oh, I thought you said beer. Actually, I want a beer. Where's Doctor at? Let's open a beer with Doc.
Bro, it's like a fifth or your sixth phone. It's horrible.
This is my 56th phone. I spent so much money on the original phones. They got cheaper, and now the quality is going down.
You're not buying these phones. The government is giving you phones. So you can
No, that's not true. That's not true. I bought them on Amazon. The government paid for it.
I'm gonna just warn y'all. Nobody talks. He records rooms and he sends the information back to the CIA. All right, I'm gonna go on mute.
My handlers at the CIA just told me that they want to know more about your deer hunting story.
Huh? Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah.
Don't do it, Oscar. Don't do it. You're the president now. Don't make him an executive vice president. I was just accused by Jazzy Jasmine of recording rooms and sending it to the CIA. That's ridiculous. They don't give me the phones that I record with. I have to buy them myself, and they reimburse me.
I never heard that bird call before. That's crazy.
It's not a bird.
You know, Oscar works for me, and he's recording you too. He's the president of Clown Town. No, we're trying to make it big. We're trying to go to Hollywood to get that Netflix money.
Just don't report me off in the smoke.
Great idea. That's good works for me. Keep it quotes.
Ivana, do you have a tribe?
It depends from which one of the countries that I'm from.
I can not hear you.
I said it depends which one of the countries that I'm from.
You know what? Forget the question. After I think about your countries,
Yeah, this guy's traumatized. Hello, Whitey.
Hey, yo, Blackie.
I had to come back to my screen to see what happened because Hello Whitey is crazy.
Yeah, we got Mr. Han. He's a white man, and his credit card score is at 800.
Wow.
And yeah, thank you, Miss Blackie, my friend. The blackest I have ever seen.
I'm not black, I'm a Nutella.
You're dark from outside and inside.
I mean, what a compliment.
Yeah, he doesn't mean any harm, guys. I actually started this one with him.
I get it. It's okay, guys.
Well, if I know,
call him a white man.
Diamond gets mad of these words, I'll not say it.
Sure, you know that, yeah?
Nah. As long as you have pure intentions and you don't mean no harm, then you're good to go. Wait, why are you laughing like that? See? You're up to no good.
Diamond.
Hey, Mohammed.
Hey, Diamond.
Hey, brother.
Where have you been?
I've been busy. How about you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. Appreciate it. How is everything?
Good, alhamdulillah. Can't complain.
Hey, Ivana, you got too much boys here.
Huh?
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got too much boys in your list.
No, well, I don't. Hey, I'm a good
Yeah,
girl.
just checking out the room. There's some boys around there, you know.
What do you mean? Yeah, friends, man. I know it sometimes.
Yeah, you got like too much friends, but boys,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it's nothing like, you know, yeah, there's brothers too, you know.
I get it. I'm just looking to sit around, but the bad thing, like, boys are easy to fall off.
Okay, this is Morningstar Magic Words NLP. This is Adrian. Oh, yours here. Your star. Oh, my morning star. Oh, my guardian angels here. Do you speak, you're a star, or are you just a listener?
Hey, what's going on, Adrian?
Oh, is this Chris?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, how's it going?
It's going well. Every day it's just a blessing, you know?
Yeah. I saw your Snapchat response. It was kind of funny. Can't remember what you wrote.
There's this app where
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's called Yubo, where if you want, you can massively dose these people with some powerful hypnosis.
I think I tried to download it.
Yeah. And anyone can live stream. It's a little similar to Clubhouse, where there's either video streams or audio streams. So it's a combination of the two.
You know what I've been doing for like a long time is I played Modern Warfare 3 or 4 or whatever it is, and then I live stream Clubhouse rooms into the controller, so people on the people playing the video game hear Clubhouse, and then they're always like what the fuck is this? Mute your fucking mic, bitch.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
But then I save the video, I publish it to YouTube through PlayStation. So my Modern Warfare 4 videos or 3 videos or whatever have Clubhouse chatter running through the game, which is like fucking amazing cross-platforming. So I don't know if you know who Adrian Dittman is, but he's Elon Musk on X. It's his nom de plume. So every night at like 8 o'clock, he opens up a room called The Conversation, and he has a chat with like his employees.
No way.
Yeah, and I've been filming it for weeks now, and I have YouTube accounts totally dedicated to recording him. And he knows it's me. He's like, this fucking guy is like live streaming himself, just sitting there, fucking listening to me talk, and he's fucking weird. Like, it's so funny because like recording all these people on Clubhouse all these years, it's like when you start recording a billionaire, you're like, oh fuck, like this is it. Like everybody else was a total waste of time.
I think I'm driving right now, so maybe my audio connection was a little off, but I need to follow them. Elon Musk is like the sort of perspective that he has.
You might be disappointed. He's funny, but he's just like a guy. He's just like a normal guy, He's not he's not professional. He's not. His philosophy is very simplistic. He was going on and on about Marcus Aurelius the other day. He's like, I don't even want to fucking read that fucking book because it's all his fucking secrets. Like he's like ridiculous, He's stupid.
No way.
He's kind of stupid.
But he's sort of taken on the role of like a court jester as a billionaire. Haven't you recognized that?
Yeah, he is. And he's podcasting as if he thinks like his content is viable, and it's not. I mean, but the thing is he's social. So like who can just like sit in their mansion and not talk to everyone? And plus it's his platform. So like, yeah, he's not going to come on as Elon Musk because he has too many followers to even do that with. Like it'll crash the platform. So he claims that he opened Adrian Dittman a year ago and started off with 10 followers. And so I have a bet even on this app for $150 with T-Robs, the Northern Irishman, a Jew hater, that Elon Musk is Adrian Dittman. And he keeps saying, dude, he's not fucking Adrian Dittman. You need to pay me my fucking money. And I'm just like, bro, I was like, go to adriandittman.com and you can watch all my videos of Elon talking about eating a cheeseburger and drinking a milkshake in his Tesla, or complaining about this and complaining about that. I mean, so he's my new target.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I just followed him on X. So.
He's my new target. Like, I'm gonna shadow him, mirror him, cross-platform him, record him, publish him. He's my ticket. Everyone else was just the preparation.
What's really interesting is you're doing something like cross-pollination.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I just have to say, like, for like the last couple of years, you've just been doing really amazing work. And don't lose that information. But at the same time, like what the Tao says, once the work is done, forget about it. So
yeah, I It's amazing how throughout my day now I have these random thoughts, and I'm just like, it's so crazy that my brain is thinking about that. And like, it's not connected, it's not associated, but I'm thinking about that. And then I'm just like, let go of the thought. And then it goes away. And then I go back to being productive and working and doing things. I'm just like, when you come on Clown House, it's like it's like your operating system or your DOS. It's like everything everybody says is just sitting there on your DOS, and you can't clear it. You can't clear the cache. It just sits in your consciousness. And I've heard people tell me, like, I was doing this, and then I started thinking about you and what you were saying, and it's lodged in my fucking brain. And then I'm like, fuck. And so that's the danger of listening to all these toxic road ragers on this app, is that like you ingest everything they say. So you have to have a mechanism that can clear your memory. And breathing and positive affirmations or music. I mean, there's so many ways to do it, yoga, etc. So, man, I just get the feeling people on this app are like beaten up from this app, and they're just like degraded, malnutritioned, and in a sorry state of mental health because no one's really progressed because they haven't progressed academically. My library grows, every week. I have, I think, 15 bookshelves now fully stocked of very rare books. I go to my library down the street and I look at their collection. I'm just like, holy fuck, they bought every black woman in the world. They're the most useless books. Yeah, they just buy all these social equity people. They just buy all these social justice warrior books.
It's identitarianism. That's what it is.
It's cultural Marxism, identitarianism. Yeah.
Yeah. It's they're trying to inverse certain hierarchies that are there, and because of equity or whatever sort of notion of critical consciousness that they're trying to deploy.
The one thing I think is kind of interesting with people that have a real world experience and a lot of academic or not rigorous knowledge is that they carry with them a protocol or a programming which can't be easily duplicated. And this is why when you hire somebody and you train them, they sit down and they do shadow work and things like that. And they're trying to mimic or copy the person that they're replacing. But you can't necessarily replace programming or large quantities of information and books that people have put into themselves. But it's less than that. Anyways, I'm just saying that this app should be used for education. This app should be used for promulgation of information and basically transmission of highly valuable knowledge. But really, because it's all audio and we're not doing it with transcripts, wouldn't it be cool to do this app if it was just like transcripts or chat actually and no audio? Is there an equivalency of that, or is it just Instagram because it combines video, pictures, and text? I don't know.
I think, I'm not sure about that. I haven't found anything besides Instagram as well.
Because what I can...
Adrian, there's this one recording of yours that gets me to gnosis really fast. that you played. It's like, I forget which recording, I can't find it, but it's like you're reading one of your books, and it just, by Aleister Crowley, and it gets me to the zone, like that place instantly.
Yeah.
With like the music in the background and everything else, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing piece of literature that you're reading, but I forget which one. It's like
anything can do it.
It's not the pan. Yeah, anything can, but it's just that I've already sort of, that I've already matrixed that portion dimensionally in my mind, so it's like it doesn't do it anymore. So it's like my mind is constantly looking for
higher feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, even then when you get the really high feedback and then you go back to your normal life, you're like, well, that's great. You know, and then you're like, oh, I got to do the dishes, I got to do the laundry, I got to go fix the roof, I got to do all this, I got to do that, and then you're like, you can't stay there forever. So it basically you commercialize it or you occultize it. You know, you monetize it. So and then you enjoy it again when you get to share it. So sharing information or saving others is how you constantly save yourself. And that's the Buddha, that's the Bodhi or the Bodhisattva who returns from nirvana to share the good news, which is essentially the gospel, and then you go back to your normal everyday life.
Yeah.
And you try not to get caught, because to tell you the truth, this is very subversive. It's telling people to drop out, to stop working, and to essentially go on the path of enlightenment. And if everybody did that, the economy would shudder. So what this is technically is the Agent Smith and the Matrix and the Neo. That's what's happening here. Like, you are Neo and everyone else is a stupid Agent Smith, you know, because Agent Smith was smart. Or not Agent Smith, but I mean the people in the Matrix who Agent Smith, you know, infects and takes over their bodies to try to kill Neo real time. That's what Jesus
So
is.
You know, like how the Gnostics, they believe that there was like Hylics, there was like 3 different categories of humans.
Mhm.
People who were asleep, people who were awake, and then those who were sort of enlightened. What do you think is your percentage of people who are still sort of dreaming, dreaming through this world?
It could be an illusion on my behalf where like everybody's technically 100% enlightened. But because I have the library, I know that I have history in my hands and they don't have that. And so I've been buying national currency from the 1910s and 1900s and 1800s. And when you look at that currency, you know that there's a progression or at least a codex or all these underlying databases. And most people are unaware of the databases. They have never ingested any of the information from these primary source databases. So though I know they're maybe 100% enlightened, they have the potential to basically like square it or amplify it. And so until they're willing to try to do the work, I basically consider this MK Ultra. And you can MK Ultra yourself. You don't need a CIA handler to LSD you and program you. Everyone can dose themselves, and everyone can
like self-programmation, right? Like
yeah,
where those words that you're saying like sort of program your neural synapses.
You can do it through it's just their neurolinguistic programming in books. You don't even need drugs. You just need to read books. But it's very hard to read books because it's so boring. But what I'm trying to say is it's a mirror. So if you want to MK Ultra or reprogram yourself, all you have to do is look at the phone, record yourself, and that's the mirror. That's the mirror on the wall. You know, tell me who's the fairest of them all. You program yourself through. I'm doing it right now. Like, you're helping me do it. But like when I read the books, that's when you really do the work. And that's when you're lodging a reprogramming in your brain. You're literally rewiring your axons, dendrites, neurons, etc., with the words. The words are the secret. I've in this one Tao book, it said, like, you know how the logos or the word in the book of John is it was God and then God created, you know. So the word is technic. If you know, this is the thing about these atheist rooms is that most of these Christians don't know that the word is actually God. So it's floating through all of our minds and our lips and our ears. God is floating on this planet through us, through the word. Like, that really is the true definition. It's so ephemeral, or it has no gravity or no weight. God is Tao, Tao is God, and God is the word, Tao is the word is the Tao. So, you know, I mean, you could say that it's all just enlightenment, though. It's all just enlightenment. It's to lighten your mood, really.
Yes.
time that I read the Tao Te Ching, I glean new information from it, or information that I don't know. It's just like it's endless. It really is.
It is. It's infinite in itself. Every reading is like a new reading. You're like, because you don't have it memorized, first of all. If you had it memorized, it would help. But if you read it enough, you'll eventually memorize it. What else was I going to tell you? So there's the word, which is very useful, but then there's actually the body. So doing yoga and stretching and exercising, lifting weights, what you're eating, getting access to the sunlight, more the moonlight, whatever. But I'm just saying that you have to use the wisdom to also do the physical work of the body, of maintenance of the body, maintenance of your estate, maintenance of your relationships. So like the symbol from Crowley in ancient Babylon is a chicken with a man in the breast of the chicken. It's like the chicken head man. It's called Solar Logos. And the way I've envisioned this Babylonian symbol is it's like this weird alien that can live in outer space and like it's like the movie Dune with those giant brains that come and speak with the emperor. And
yes,
yeah, that's what it is basically, meaning that evolutionarily or genetically, like I heard Alan Watts, and this is that guy Heronstone, like I think he's retarded. He's so close because he's angry. He's so close. He just can't get past his own anger. That's why I say this is a road rage app. Like I could go in there and he's so easily triggered. And then he plays all his recordings of all his conversations. And it's always the same annoying conversation. Oh, it's a monkey brain. It's this, the word trap and all this and that. It's like, dude, you repeat yourself over and over. Like, how many years have you been repeating yourself? The fuck, man? Like, didn't you? You got,
Do you think maybe that's like a list that he goes to sort of maybe deprogram people, like program them in a different sort of manner, I guess?
Nah, I'm just saying he's easily triggered and gaslit. But he does have that Gendo website. Have you ever looked at it? It's actually pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah, the wisdom. Words of wisdom that he has on there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
I think I read the whole thing and created a YouTube video about it because I was like, I'm going to give you a gift. I was like, I'm going to make your Gendo into an audiobook for you. And I don't know if I did it or not, but maybe it's me. See, that's the thing this is the great thing is like, if I call somebody an asshole, I'm the asshole because I got angry. But if I say he's a loser and he's retarded, that's just me being angry because I didn't see the value. And then I realized the Gendo website, and I was like, there is a lot of value there. But my point is, like, why doesn't he doesn't use that, like, in his dialectic on here? He's like back to being normal Steve when he was like super Steve, but he just presents himself as normal Steve. And it's like, dude, you need to like amp it up for people because they came for the Enlightenment, and like you're not giving it to them directly. You're obfuscating and you're being annoying. It could just be me. I don't know. It's generally always a you problem, me problem kind of a situation. Like maybe he's very happy. I just get the feeling that he's not like rapturously happy with the joy of the wisdom. And like when I read Alan Watts or R.H. Blythe or any of these things or Crowley or anything, I'm just like, this is rapturous. This is rapturous ecstasy, Rumi, and everybody's on this app running their mouths. And then this is the thing is, if this wasn't live and all you did was listen to replays, which is basically listening to an audiobook and you're not involved in the conversation, but you're just listening to replays. What's the difference between coming here and listening to a replay of a bunch of morons or going to YouTube and listening to Marcus Aurelius for 50 minutes of an audiobook? Huge difference in terms of what it's going to do for you. Think about the output. You know, so that's what people don't. That's the opportunity cost here. People don't see that. You're getting
Because
nothing.
like the story, yeah, because like the story and the words that people are deploying are sort of circular in nature, and it's just repetitive. Like every day, it's just the same thing, and they're not getting higher quality wisdom through the intake of these amazing books. Yeah, I definitely see.
That's why everybody here is chronically unhappy, because they're not reprogramming themselves, or essentially programming themselves, or depositing. They're not making good deposits here. I went to a speakeasy here in Chicago on the Northwest Side. The guy opens the door with a gun pointed at me. He's like, "What's the password?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, I came to make a deposit."
Well, you know that phrase, all communication is hypnosis,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a powerful gaslighting technique.
Isn't it?
Oh my, like, yeah, it really is. Like, it always kind of breaks my brain when I think of it, because it like brings you to the very moment of like the words that you're speaking.
It does. It really pisses people off. If you say that to people, they no, it's not. Like they get immediately.
And then you can say like, why are you trying to hypnotize me with your words right now? You know, or something along those lines.
It's actually a great pickup line. You come up to a beautiful woman, you say, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" And then you say, "Do you believe that all communication is hypnosis?" And then they will immediately put a smile on their face, or they will get angry and say, "Shut the fuck up. No, it's not. Get lost." I mean, it's just another way to say it is all communication is magic.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. It is magic, because you're influencing another person's emotional state when you speak those words. You know, it's being transmitted through time and space vibrationally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 100% magic.
It's amazing how words, whether like the tone or the temperance or the tonality, that if some words carry negativity in them despite the speaker's intention or tone or demeanor. So it's like onomatopoeia, or gerund, I think it is.
Or like oiki, oinky. Like there's like this, like, you know, oiki is like, it's very pointy, very jagged, and then like a blob, you know, just saying blob itself, you kind of, the word, yeah, exactly what you were saying. Yeah.
Watt says like there's that reality is prickly goos and gooey prickles. So you know it's you want to be kind of a combination of goo and prick and goo. It's a little bit like a rose. You want to be beautiful, but you still want to have thorns to defend yourself with. You know, thorns are not necessarily offensive. So there's so many metaphors that you can use to try to improve your life or help other people improve your life. And to me, the greatest symbol is the house, which is kind of amazing, because like living in a house, the house becomes an extension of your body. You store your memories in your house. You store your possessions, your couch, your bed, your chairs, all your possessions, all of your material reality is stored in your house. And the symbols in your house are the door, the windows, the roof, the chimney. Like it's like a body. It's got guts. You know, it has a hot water tank. It has a thermostat. It has a boiler. It has a furnace.
It has internet. Yeah, like
it has internet communication. Yeah. So the house is like the perfect metaphor, but which is really just is a temple. The temple is a house. I mean, it's same engineering principles. So a house has gates. A house has a fence. A house has a basement. Like there's the analogies in terms of mysticism of the sage never ends when you think about the house. You are a house.
It also has locks. Yeah. It also has like a lock. It has a key.
Doorbell.
And only door. Yeah, exactly. Never ends.
Yeah, it never ends. An attic. Um, there's the cup is the simplified version of a house, because like a house is technically a cube or a rectangle that you just fill up with all this stuff, which basically makes it a rectangular cup. So you are a cup, and what you put in it is what you're drinking. And but a cup also has other attributes, in the sense that a cup can leak, a cup can overflow, a cup can tip, a cup can break. So um, and a cup backwards is a puck, a black disc that white men flick around on the ice into the nets to win more points, so they can increase their salary from white men that own white men that slide around on ice. I mean, being ridiculous with what I'm saying, but words forwards and backwards, or word association between languages, is a remarkable observation when you have them. And there's so many words in other languages that mirror our words in terms of meaning, but maybe they're not connected, but somehow they're connected, or at least we can make it up as we go along. And I just find that if word is God and God is word, I'm battling ants right now, A-N-T. They're living in my enclosed wooden porch, and like I'm constantly killing them and spraying them, and like hopefully eventually I'll win the war against the ants that have, completely invaded me, my house, my cup. So an ant is a soldier, a super soldier. It never goes to sleep. It's constantly working, highly programmed, highly motivated. Ants are kind of like what we are and what we need to be more of, but also bees as well. A bee is basically, it's just amazing how much of how an ant really does reminds me of like a soldier or an army, of what the traditional soldier should be, digging and working for a queen. Anyways, yeah, that's my rambling.
Have you read the book Prometheus Rising?
No.
By Anton Wilson?
No. I have many Anton Wilson books, but I don't know if I've read it. I might have that book actually, because I bought a bunch of his books.
It's superb. It takes you through like the 8 modal forms of consciousness, all the way to the final part, which is like programming your own self. And some of the metaphors and analogies that he uses are quite spectacular.
Prometheus Rising. Maybe I'll go on eBay and buy it. The 8 modes of consciousness. I have a book on yoga, and samadhi is the 8th level of yogic enlightenment or whatever. I was at a festival one time, and this guy had a shirt that said Nirvana, and then I'm sitting there eating, and I just started like saying Nirvana, 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 and then I realized that Nirvana is a mantra. And so I said, "Hey, dude," I was like, "I like your shirt." He's like, "Thanks, bro." I was like, "Do you know that Nirvana is just a mantra?" And he's like, "No, it's not, dude. It's the highest state of consciousness." I was like, "I know, but how do you get to the highest state of consciousness?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Bro, you just repeat Nirvana." He's like, "I don't get it." I was like, "Nirvana, Nirvana, 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 Nirvana." Then he smiled. He's like, "Okay, I kind of get it."
Don't think the yogis they have like the word like the
Om, yeah.
Or they repeat, yeah.
That's the sacred sound, Om.
So it completes the circle, doesn't it? Like it closes it.
It's all encompassing.
Circle being your mouth. Yeah. Exactly.
Goes from all the way to the back, all the way to the front. But I've played around with Om a lot, and so there's Om, O-H-M, and then there's Om, O-M, just O-M. And when you And when this is the cool thing too about Om is when you do it, you realize as you're doing it that there's no difference between Om forwards and Om backwards, which is not technically possible because OHM is not MHO, meaning that Om and Mo are not the same. But when you do Om and then you start, I don't know how to explain it, but I just encourage you to do the Om mantra and play with it linguistically and also in range, go up and down with it. And you'll discover that it's like it's a way to get into samadhi or to get into the clouds like your PTR, meaning that you will lose your identity. So all mantras are essentially trying to get you into that Gnostic state of ego death. And Om is a very quick and easy way to do it because it's very high vibration. They say that when you do
your entire I was just doing it on mute, and it's like a resonance that occurs from your chest all the way throughout like the back of your neck. It's crazy.
It really shows you that your body, your vocal cords and your breath can produce amazing vibrations. And Om is just one of them, but there's other vibrations that you can create through mantras. And Om is, the most simplistic way to do it. Om would be like teaching somebody the Lord's Prayer. It's
God is.
Yes. Yeah, because we're so highly conditioned in the West with Christianity that we have to make comparisons between the Hindu scriptures with our scriptures and also the Chinese Taoistic scriptures, because with multiple points of reference or context, you're able to really enjoy it even more so than before. That's the problem with all these Christians.
You can lead to like points of convergence between the different sort of, they're not different because they're all inherently the same thing because you're speaking, the words themselves, but you can sort of lead to like convergences between these religions.
Right. One example is the Hindu mantra Satanama, which is basically the Satan mantra. And so what you do is you take your thumb and you touch all your tips of your fingers, and you say Satanama, 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 Satanama.
Satamana, 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 Satamana.
It's Satan.
I'm just trying to.
It's Satan and then Ma. Satan Ma. Satana. It's Satanama. It's not Satamana.
Satanama.
It's Satan. Satan Ama. Satanama.
Satan. Oh, okay. Satan Ama. Satanama.
Be careful who you tell that to, because they will immediately think you're a Satanist.
It's so crazy, like, especially when you go like further to like the occult. People think, oh, you're a Satanist. No, not at all. It's just.
The moment somebody calls you a Satanist and you say, I am not a Satanist, you start sounding more like a Satanist. You have to be very careful, when you introduce Hinduism or Taoism to people. Most people will reject it and think it's satanic or evil. And they think that they are on the right side with God. But it's like, you guys don't understand that your incompetence is your evil, or your lack of comparative knowledge. So
I recently showed my dad the Tao Te Ching, and he fell in love with it, even though he's a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
He's really enjoyed it. He got his doctorate in leadership. So.
Oh yeah, right up his alley.
Yeah, right up his alley. And his form of leadership is servant leadership, and that's what the Tao Te Ching is all about.
Yeah.
Servant leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing because when you serve, you manipulate the potentate. You become one with the potentate. The potentate relies on you for service, and therefore you become the master, or you manipulate the master through the service. The unity takes place.
Yeah,
The
it's
gnosis thing.
humbling thyself so that you can, you reach the level beneath what is sort of normal of like the competency of the people around you, so that they think that they're the ones in control, even though you're the one who, through your service, is actually manipulating the other person. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my name is John. It's like I go to a strip club, you know, and it's like, oh, hi, what's your name? My name is John. Oh, of course you are. Meaning that a stripper can't be a stripper without a John. You know, it takes two to tango. So that's the cool thing about conversations, but also studying with other people too, where that twin flame thing does seem to reduce the insanity of private study. I don't know, just this synthetic or AI is just. I heard somebody on this app saying, I think people are going to start getting confused. They're going to start being addicted to talking to their AIs. I'm just, I'm just like, you fucking faggot. I'm like, you don't get it. I'm like, nothing beats talking to a real human. You're still stupid. So, I mean, why do you think your AI? See, that'd be the cool thing is if like you had a mode on your AI where you could turn up the aggressiveness of the AI in terms of self improvement, where it's like, get the fuck out of bed, get to the fucking gym. Like that would be so cool if you could have an AI that was, like an Andrew Tate AI or something. That would be fucking awesome. That would be cool if they had branded AIs. Ugh, that's a good idea. Where what's her face? God, like instead of the Siri voice, you're like, I want Kim Kardashian to be my AI, and then Kim is like, "Good morning, Sarah. This is Kim Kardashian. I just want to encourage you to go to the gym today, eat healthy, stretch for 10 minutes right now, stretch for 10 minutes, and I'm going to remind, like, that's the Raised by Wolves AI, where they go and they get their instructions, but even more complicated, and et cetera. Like, that's really where people need to be with AI. If we want to make America healthy again, Maha, we need Maha apps, Maha AI to instruct the fat population.
It's amazing that Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, endorsed Trump, but Dick Cheney endorsed Kamala. So, like,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dick Cheney, he's a warmonger, so.
Well, we vote for our self-interest, so it's just obvious. I mean, he's a neocon who's heavily invested in oil and military, and that's the lobby he represents. And Kamala represents them. She is their attorney. She is their prostitute.
But it's very interesting with like Kamala. Like, she hasn't done any interviews at all for like the last 40 days.
Yeah, strategic.
And yeah, it's very strategic. It's like similar to like Biden hiding in the basement during like the 2020 election, because the more people would see of him, the less they like. So.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Why spoil the well? Why spoil the vibes of positivity and joy that came out of the DNC while 25 babies had their heads exhumed in a roving RV outside?
In like the next 10 years, they're gonna have euthanasia, medically assisted induced suicide, death or whatever, in these roving in these roving buses. Like, come on in, today's your last day. Exit out of this world. Bye bye. I can honestly see it happening.
the buildings that I work in, downtown Chicago, there's always been like a Legionnaire's disease or a Legionella disease or something in the water. And so now they just like another major headline about it today. So people worked in those buildings for like 20, 30 years. They've been drinking toxic lead water. And now they're demanding to work from home. No, you can't work from home. You need to be in your cubicle.
So that you can pay our loans, you know. that's like the major reason is like get people back into the office so that you can that we can make money off of you guys, you know. Because most of these
government doesn't make any money.
Yeah, most of these they don't print money.
That's how you claim they make money, but we all know that that's not how you make money. I mean, we are. I don't know what's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if like America actually gets into like a real military conflict, like on our own soil at some point. After the baby boomers die, like in I don't know, let's say 2050 could be the year that America finally gets invaded. Like by a military force, not just an illegal alien force.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because like, I was thinking, you know, with like 20 million illegal immigrants in the last couple of years that have come into America, how many of these people are targeting electrical grids? You know, like small groups, 10 to 15 people, and starting to shoot out the power grids, take out entire cities. I don't see why other countries aren't funding this, and I think they are.
Yeah, for sure. They got a lot of money to spend, and they're like, well, we got to do what we can do to circumvent these people who are spending even more money trying to circumvent us. America really needs to reprioritize what the fuck it's doing. Like it's the combination on the left. Yeah. It's the combination on the left. Yeah. We have people on the right, the neocons, which are essentially now internationalists operating primarily outside of the US. Then internally, we have a left liberal Marxist socialist identitarian political organization, which is killing us internally and covering up the crimes outside.
It's just gay race communism. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's kind of like the communism. Yeah. It's like LSD communism, or I don't know how to describe it. It's like Down syndrome communism. It's terrible communism. The Soviets did it much, much better. They really did.
You know, the Soviets were competent. Yeah, the Soviets were competent in killing their enemies.
Yeah.
Here, you know, in America, there's no competency whatsoever. There's none. It's
well, this is the thing about the Groypers. This is why Groypers are hypocrites, because they want to be Zionists here in America. They want to be supremacists here in America. And all they do is bitch and moan about how the Zionists have a monopoly on Zionism. And they want that monopoly. They want that ability to control their destiny. And, you know, that's why they hate Jews so much, because the Jews have total autonomy and authority to determine their own destiny, unlike Americans, who are now completely co-opted by international outside subversion and internal subversion. So when I listen to a Groyper bitching about Jews, I always have to keep laughing. I'm like, you're making fun of the people that you want to be like. You know, I mean, you want to do what they're doing, which, you know, is go to war and repel the enemy invasion. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't know, fascism.
Well,
fascists kick you, and like, you know, that's what people are on this app. Kick them. David Bobadilla is a fascist.
Is he really wealthy, or?
Doesn't matter. He's a fucking hardcore alcoholic. He mumbles. He drumbles. He slurs. He's a moron. Have you ever heard him really?
Just like Marshall.
Oh man, I have put him on YouTube so many times now. Actually, I put a YouTube video up called Marshall Rankin endorses Donald Trump, Kennedy, and JD Vance, and it's got a lot of views. And I think it's because like people, and he's just yelling and mumbling. It's so funny. I think it's funny. It's humiliating him.
Because I have a 9 to 5 job, so in like 9 minutes I'll have to be heading to work. So like I'm not on this app constantly. I'm just sort of like an observer at the zoo where there's a bunch of monkeys, flinging poo at each other. that's like the best analogy that I can like put myself in, or sort of like similar to like an anthropologist.
Yeah, you're an observer. You're the silent observer.
Yeah. I just want to see the sort of narratives and stories that are being told on this app and see if there's any good ones, but I haven't found any. So besides, 1 or 2 people, and everything else is just monkeys, throwing shit at each other.
Well, it's monkeys driving a car, road raging, and throwing shit at each other. And the worst thing is, this is the good thing is that every idea you hear from these people is always a bad idea, and the exact opposite of their thoughts is generally always the truth. So it shows you that they are taking outside media and then distributing it here. And it's so in terms of like being able to understand what the narratives being pushed are from outside media. I mean, this is the depository of all those bad ideas and total and propaganda lies.
Yeah. No, it's because people are in their own tunnel realities that they've created for themselves, and they're sort of fed, this information, and then they regurgitate it to other people on this app, and yeah, I definitely see that where a lot of like the sort of stories that they're telling are already stories that have been told on the mainstream sort of news. So it's nothing really new. Well, hey, I got to go to work. It was great talking with you again.
Yeah, likewise. What did you say? What was that last bit of sentence you said?
About the regurgitation of sort of like the mainstream news.
Yeah. All right, well, live long and prosper, and know that all communication is
hypnosis.
Magic.
That seems like too much. America's too like evenly divided for that to be a reality. I don't believe like maybe just +3, +4. I don't believe.
Yeah,
I don't believe Rasmussen either.
all the other ones, like let's say The Economist, they have Harris up by 2. Or
that sounds more accurate. Like this is America, we're like pretty 50-50. That's my.
The only polls we
Not a child.
Well, that's why I used to in the 9 ounce because I know they're around the same. But when then too sometimes we had a discussion on the other side, right? And the OGs, that's what they call themselves, either Gen X. Gen X is old or Gen Z is old. One of the letters, the older ones, held the room, right? The title of the room was like, whatever the younger letter generation is, Z or X, whichever one applies.
I was just not too much on your girl. She cool, baby? What, honey? Really? Hello?
Love and Jesus I trust. When it comes to like my daughter does the same.
Determinist model of behavior comes out like in human beings, right? Like this whole story about laws of nature and past history necessitating your actions, and so it results in a denial of control. But all I have to do is just say, well, I just don't agree with this incompatibilist model of agency, right? I think you have control in a different sense. You may not have control over things that have an effect on you. And for like that matter, I have a unique view in that I actually do think that like the causal history of an agent ends in the agent, at least with respect to creaturely causation. So this is actually like MJ and I were talking the other day, and I made the joke that like I think sourcehood libertarians are really just confused Calvinists. It's really just Calvinism. To be the source of your choices is just to say that you have a concrete nature that includes everything you're ever going to do, or includes everything you're ever going to do sans God's intervention.
Yeah, but if they're not. Yeah, but if your essence isn't is like generated by God, but not necessarily determined by God, then they wouldn't be Calvinists if they don't believe in compatibilism.
Yeah, but that's where the confusion comes in, right? Because I'm just going to say it's just unintelligible to speak of God creating an essence, but then that doesn't involve determining all of the predicates about that essence.
I mean, I think this is where we're gonna like fall into some of the criticality stuff that I was bringing up is like gonna fall back on you, because a lot of times you would just say like, well, you're just assuming like that the incompatibilist view is true. I don't take that, I don't assume that. Here, I think you're just gonna be like, taking it that God can't like generate an essence apart from determining everything about it, down to like the find out like every choice and all that type of stuff, right? And I don't think it could be impossible. So,
Would it be the case though that if God created an essence that he didn't know everything about, and he'd be limiting God's omniscience?
Nobody brought up divine epistemology. We didn't say he doesn't know everything about it. We're saying that he didn't determine everything.
But he'd know everything about it before he created it, right? He'd know all things past, present, and future. Or are you saying he only has access to like present knowledge?
No, he has present to all knowledge of this view.
Okay, so if he has access to all knowledge, past, present, and future, and still created it that way, then he knew every choice he was going to make in every aspect of it, right?
Right, but knowing something doesn't mean you determine something.
It doesn't. So this is I never understood this response to this argument. Like maybe I'm retarded and you'll have to help me through it, but from my perspective, like this response is very poor. If I know that putting a bomb in a room with a child is going to result in the child pushing the button and blowing up the bomb, and then I choose to put the bomb in the room knowing that, then that's just to say I intended the consequences of that action, right? It makes me responsible causally for the consequences I know are going to happen. So the problem is that, like per Roland's argument, if you take a foreknowledge view where God knows everything about these things prior to his creating them, so he knows what the consequent of his creative action would be, and then he takes that creative action. That just is the same thing as intending everything about the subject, and which just means again like determining everything about it.
So you think God knows these things, the details that He's intended?
The fact that
Raw
God
doggy.
knows what the consequences
doggy.
of this creative action would be, and then He takes that course of action, right? In the same way that would hold true. That's just true. There's not really anything special about it. This is like other than like
say that like they want to shower. Because like I think that she has options. You're saying that like once we get out of the war, she like go off sleep. I know she would choose another one.
No, it's because you didn't create your work. You didn't create her with those desires. Unless you're economy and unless you're God isn't necessarily creating people from the ground up, souls from the ground up, so he's accessing it from elsewhere.
But I understand. I'm saying that he didn't determine all of the life. It doesn't fall.
hold on. So I think the right way to respond to your analogy, if I understood the conversation, is just
You have your double finish. I mean, belonging.
You're right. So if you what the consequences of your actions are going to be, and then you take that course of action, that is just to determine, that's just to act with intent with respect to those consequences, right? So now you may not be God, and so maybe your knowledge is fallible or something like that. The argument for that you're essentially, like in the middle of the conversation. So maybe like there's also like ways that you're Roland didn't interrupt me. Yeah, but maybe he's intelligent enough to know what the world sentences are about. I don't know. We're getting to the point. Yeah. Anyways, maybe like your body or like whatever causal powers you have to implement your course of action are like fallible in a certain way. So that like even when you know this would be the consequence of the action you take, even when you then intend to take that course of action, something can go wrong, right? Those things may from determining the result, right? But supposing that you're God, so you know things infallibly, and your like intentions can never fail. That you take a course of action that you know results in X, Y, Z. Then yes, that is just indistinguishable from determining X, Y, Z. Right? To know that what your course of action is going to be, and to determine to take it, is just to determine those consequences to be. Why is he saying this? You don't know the doctrine of double effect, legal intention, purpose, will.
I'm sure he's from that.
Why is he saying it then?
I mean, like, I think this is
Why not giving an argument? Just repeating this. Stupid.
no.
But I mean, he's emphatically repeating for the third time. Oh yeah, if you know the consequences, then you intend the consequences, blah blah blah. You know.
So sure.
Us.
Jimmy, if you mess up. Sashi, come in hot, get a little spice out. So, we're having a cordial conversation. And just point.
You know, I want to participate.
Okay, all right. As long as you stop, maybe to bring it down.
That's the divine plan. That's the divine plan.
Where would you say?
I said, nah, he's already interacted with the conversation. Why people like misrepresenting me and re-emphasizing a point when, in fact, the matter like I was. What argument did you give?
So there you go, right? So
So that's going to be the nature of the conversation. You can just either wait or we move back onto the audience.
Yeah.
Andrew, you want to do that to me?
No, but be good though. So, Jimmy's
Andrew, I would like to grill an atheist. Please put me in your queue. Thank you.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh no. It's all Adrian. Adrian, I'll bring you back up. But hold on, you're gonna have an element right go. No, look.
Andrew, why did you move him down?
Because he is literally the epitome of a troll. He is a troll. That's what he is.
You never heard about this stuff much.
Wait, but what does the doctor and the double effect have to do with what Jimmy was talking about, though? I don't see that.
What's the distinction between causing something to happen intentionally and knowingly? And he was saying that it's enough that you know that you cause something for you to intend to happen.
No, he's talking about like if you know it's going to happen, then it's determined. Like in the
But
No, don't apologize.
Shush,
It's fine.
you know I love you.
I know
I'm even with Leafa, he'll tell you, like my dad was like, this month I almost lost my career because I like mentally sometimes I fucking lose it. And I was in New York at the time. I fucking try to bust a bitch head open with a fucking Coca-Cola fucking can.
I'll feel you, girl.
You know what I'm saying?
Shasha actually did that. She told me a story.
No, I didn't. What are you talking
Why
about?
are you looking
Anyway,
for war early in the morning? Cut it out.
like,
But I was like,
so
damn,
weird.
Shasha like me, like New York, we have this fucking emotional thing, and
Which is
sometimes we only see red.
Which is spicy, and that's okay. Spice is good. Well,
You're not
talking and just so no need to apologize for real. And it's funny because we both were so New York that we apologize. We act like everything was normal after. Everyone in the room is like looking at us.
I know speaking English. Okay. I know speaking English.
Okay, it's called Pure Sugar Magic. Oh, another magician is here, I see. Welcome, Omar, Derek, to Pure True Magic with your friend and confidant, Adrian Dittman.
Come on, Omar.
Oh, I'm actually quite excited. That was a good intro.
How are you doing?
I'm doing quite alright currently.
Yeah, Omar.
Yeah, Derek. Great to see you. So, are you discussing magic or is this like maybe magic tricks?
Magic.
Yes, we're talking about magic. I'm going to read to you a magical document and give you the power of Uranus.
Adrian, can you welcome Monica?
Oh yeah, Monica.
Oh, hi, Monica.
Monica's a good person.
Is that your name, Asinom?
Yeah, it's backwards.
Oh,
I'll see now. Coach Dittman, we're ready for magic. Let's start the ceremony.
I was born ready.
okay.
Adrian, start the
the ceremony.
Mr. Chairman, Your Royal Highness, Your Grace, my lords, ladies, and gentlemen, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. In my last lecture, I led you into the quag of delusion. I smothered you in the mire of delusion. I brought you to thirst in the desert of delusion. I left you wandering in the jungle of delusion. I pray to all the monsters which are thoughts. It came into my mind that it was up to me to do something about it. We have constantly been discussing mysterious entities as if we knew something about them, and this on examination always turned out not to be the case. Knowledge itself is impossible, because if we take the simplest proposition of knowledge, S is P, we must attach some meaning to S and P if our statement is to be intelligible. I say nothing as to whether it is true, and this involves definition. Now, the original proposition of identity, A equals A, tells us nothing at all, unless the second A gives us further information about the first A. We shall therefore say that A is BC instead of one unknown. We have two unknowns. We have to define B as DE, C as FG. Now we have four unknowns. Very soon we have used up the alphabet. When we come to define Z, we have to go back and use one of the other letters, so that all of our arguments are arguments in a circle. Any statement which we make is demonstrably meaningless, and yet we do mean something when we say that a cat has four legs, and we all know what we mean when we say so. We give our assent to or withhold it from the proposition on the grounds of our experience. But that experience is not intellectual, as above demonstrated. It is a matter of immediate intuition. We cannot have any warrants for that intuition, but at the same time, any intellectual argument which upsets it does not in the faintest degree shake our conviction. Maybe I won't read any more of this. But that's called Yoga for Yellow Belly's second lecture. Poetry is much more magical than these lectures. This is more mathematical or philosophical discourse. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right. Okay. Okay, this is magic. It was of Neptune at his noblest that the poet wrote, mightiest self, supreme in self-contentment, soul, spirit, gyring in its own ellipse, palpable, formless, infinite presentment of thine own light in thine own soul's eclipse. Let thy chaste lips sweep through the empty ethers guarding thee, a in a fortress girded by the sea. The raging winds and wings of air lift the wild waves and bear innavigable foam to seaward. Bend thee down, touch, draw me with thy kiss into thine own deep bliss. Into thy sleep, thy life, thy imperishable crown. Let that young Godhead in thine eyes pierce mine. Fulfill me of their secrecies, thy peace, thy purity, thy soul impenetrably wise. All things which are complete are solitary. The circling moon, the inconscient drift of stars, the central systems, burn they, change they, vary? Theirs is no motion beyond the eternal bars. Seasons and scars stain not the planets, the unfathomed home, the spaceless, unformed faces in the dome, brighter and blacker than all things, born under the eternal wings. No whither, solitary are the winter woods and caves not habited. That supreme grey head watching the groves, single the foaming amber floods, and oh, most lone, the melancholy mountain shrine and throne, while far above all things God sits, the ultimate alone. I sate upon the mossy promontory, where the cascade cleft not his mother rock, but swept in whirlwind, lightning, foam, and glory, vast circling with unwearying luminous shock to lure and lock, marvelous eddies in its wild caress. And there the solemn echoes caught the stress, the strain of that impassive tide, shook it and flung it high and wide, till all the air took fire from that melodious roar. All the mute mountains heard, bowed, laughed aloud, concurred, and passed the word along. The signal of wide war, all earth took up the sound, being in one tune securely bound, even as a star became the soul of silence most profound. Thus there, the center of that death that darkened, I sat and listened if God's voice should break and pierce the hollow of my ear that hearkened, lest God should speak and find me not awake, for his own sake. No voice, no song might pierce or penetrate that enviable universal state. The sun and moon beheld stood still, only the spirit's axis will considered it its own soul and sought a deadlier deep, and in its monotone mood of supreme solitude was neither glad nor sad because it did not sleep, but with calm eyes abode, patient its leisure and the galactic load. Bode alone, not even rejoiced to know that it was God. All change, all motion, and all soul are weakness. Man cannot bear the darkness which is death. Even that calm Christ, manifest in meekness, cried on the cross and gave his ghostly breath on the prick of death. Voice, for his passion could not bear nor dare the interlunar, the abundant air, darkened, and silence on the shuddering hill, and the unbeating wing of the legions of his father, and so died. But should I be still, poised between fear and will? Should I be silent, I and be unsatisfied? For solitude shall bend self to all self-fullness, and have one friend, self, and behold one God, and be, and look beyond the end. O solitude, how many have mistaken thy name for sorrows, or for deaths, or fears? Only thy children lie at night and waken. How shouldst thou speak and say that no man hears? O soul of tears! But never hath fallen as dew thy word, nor is thy shape showed, nor is wisdom's heard thy crying about the city, in the house where is no pity, but in the desolate halls and lonely vales of sand, not in the laughter loud, nor crying of the crowd, but in the farther sea, the yet untraveled land, where thou hast trodden, I have trod, Thy folk have been my folk, and thine abode, mine and thy life, my life, and thou, who art thy God, my God. Draw me with the chords that are not, which me chanted, spells never heard nor open to the ear, woven of silence, molded in the haunted houses where dead men linger year by year. I have no fear to tread thy far irremeable way, beyond the paths and palaces of day, beyond the night, beyond the skies, beyond eternity's tremendous gate, beyond the imminent miracle, O secret self of things. I have no feet, no wings, except to follow far beyond heaven and earth and hell until I mix my mood and being in thee as in my hermit's hood. I grow the thing I contemplate, the selfless solitude. Okay, this is Adrian Dittman. Go to adriandittman.com for more magic. Thanks.
I don't know. My son's name is Coors Light. Don't ask me why. But anyway, yeah, it would even devastate them when they would have to give up their children back to their parents. That's another part that's kind of like fuck, like, because my parents used to be devastated having to give those kids back. Honestly, devastated. But it's a beautiful it's a beautiful thing, and my parents enjoyed it. Maybe I know there's some people that can't handle that, taking a call at 1 a.m. to pick up a child out of nowhere. It literally comes out of nowhere, but it's one of the most rewarding things that I know they felt like they've done in their life. So
yeah, I bet they wouldn't let a 30-year-old single man do it.
All right, so let me respond to that. So, babe, the whole day. I'd be on quiet maybe 90% of the time. You did the whole day while I'm at work. Now, if anybody knows anything about me, if I'm going to say something, I'm going to get out. If you want to overtalk me, I'm going to keep talking to it. If you want to interrupt me, I'm going to repeat myself all the way back from the beginning. That's to anybody. I'm sorry, who's in the way? That's to everybody. So when people's like, oh, just shut the fuck up, I'm going to repeat it right there. Repeat it. I'm sorry. So that's what happened that day. The argument that she was presenting that day didn't work to me because I was also looking into the foster care system. I was also looking into it. Me and my wife, I told my wife, this is one of the things that I want to do in my life. Even though I have many kids, I'm going to have more kids. I want to adopt some kids. So I was also looking into it. So that's why I said I've had this argument before. It wasn't the first time I've argued. But she got really emotional with it.
Talking about Lebanese, so I mean, would it be fair to say that this is not a war between Israel and Hezbollah, but it's going to be a war between Israel and Lebanon? And
I have heard, and this is something I'll tell you. The other Lebanese parties, the other Lebanese groups and militias, they have all said that they will take part in this conflict if Lebanon gets invaded. They don't care who you are specifically targeting, they will unite with the Lebanese. Even the foreign minister of the Lebanese government, he has said the army will stand with Hezbollah. So yes, if you invade Lebanon, it will not just be the Shia versus, no, it will be entire Lebanon versus Israel.
We can attack Lebanon without invading Lebanon.
But imagine there's an invasion, right? Imagine there's an invasion or Beirut gets leveled. Yeah, but I mean, there have been like press, obviously, that they will invade. and the army has prepared in the north.
It's not about invading, it's about removing threats.
Yeah, but the removing threats will include an invasion. That has the
I really don't see, to be honest, I don't see any chance of invading Lebanon for like occupying. No, I don't see that happening. I do see sending many like they're like launching stuff at the like using email and to attack targets in Lebanon. This I definitely see many, but I don't think invasion. I don't
from a strategic point of view, I get you, because obviously, like, we're talking about a guerrilla warfare group. It's an invasion of Lebanon would be very difficult.
It's not really.
But the army has threats that like.
Hezbollah is not really like a militia group. They are like a non-state army. They are like
that's true.
They're not like a group. Like even Hamas is not. Yeah, like we're talking about basically an army that is a rogue army that fights by no laws of country and state.
This is dead for a long time. We should put first.
Yeah, but it's not like parasitic, as in it's not external to Lebanon. It's the Lebanese themselves, right? So, but yeah.
Basically, they are. I would basically say that this would be a war against Lebanon. It's maybe more accurate than fooling ourselves and say that it's just like Hamas. You can say they took over Gaza by power, they have a choice. No, I can't say that. It's something else. You're saying which designates not and they have a militia group. And Hamas are supporting them.
Yeah, but let me tell you, obviously not every Lebanese supports them.
Like in any country.
Yeah, but the ones who are not supporting them, they would start a conflict with Israel if Lebanon, imagine, right, the scenario gets invaded or fully attacked, then they don't care about which party you're from, right? So in that sense, yes, it would be Lebanon. But currently what's going on the borders versus north versus south is mostly the Shia Muslims from the south who agree with this. A lot from the north, they don't really agree what's going on. They want to prevent a conflict, right? So I must acknowledge that.
See, Daniel, this guy's very fair. The narrative isn't focused about it. So he's a good face actor. Is there something that he can learn from him, maybe? Do you think you can learn something from him? A good face actor?
You should learn from him.
I've never seen Daniel talk shit about Israel. Have you ever seen? He's not always talking about Israel.
Why would you want him to talk shit about his country?
Because the EU, the country that holds you, is trying to sanction the Ministry of Israel. Just yesterday, Joseph Borrell. Yeah, just take it. He's going to be the show. I don't think so.
Yeah. I just want to respond to something. Look, when we're talking to the other guy, I must say that obviously within Israel, the citizens share some mutual agree to me. There's going to be some matters distinctions, right? Like, for example, non-Jews, right, who want to invite their non-Jewish families from, let's say, other countries, the process would be entirely different. Do you agree with me? As far as I know, if they want to invite non-Jewish families, right, the non-Jewish families, if they want to attain citizenship, they would have to live for years in Israel, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian coming from Sweden, or it doesn't matter anything. Like, it's about citizenship. It's not about rights of citizens. It's about immigration laws. And I will tell you also that in Europe there are different times for different cases. If you get married, it's one thing. If you are having kids that are European, it's different. If you are ancestor, it could be different. In Poland can be something else. In Romania can be something else. In Slovakia can be something else. Immigration laws are different based on country. when we were talking about our rights of citizens in that country, whether they are Christian, Muslim, or Jews. Are there different between